It's time for EdTech Mondays, brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and CC Hub.
Every strong system runs on a value chain. From farm to table, from factory to market, every link matters. Education is not different. But here is the catch. In Nigeria, who really constitutes the education value chain? Could this be because some links in our education value chain are weak or missing entirely? Welcome to EdTech Mondays Nigeria, a platform that facilitates critical conversations on the use of technology for teaching and learning. I am your host, as always, Chinyelu Akpa, and it's great to be here again. This month on the EdTech Mondays show, we are discussing the role of technology in strengthening the education value chain. Discussing those that constitute the education value chain, how well they work together, how technology is reshaping the value system as it relates to assessment and certification, and also the challenges of the Nigerian education value chain. Across the 4 episodes this month, we will intentionally examine how technology is strengthening education as it relates to players in this system. On this first episode, we will begin by asking the big question: who really constitutes Nigeria's education value chain? Who are the actors behind the scenes, the decision makers, the frontline implementers, and the innovators? And more importantly, how do they depend on one another to ensure that learners succeed? To unpack this first episode with us, our first guest is an IT professional with a focus on harnessing cloud technologies and digital tools to enhance systems and drive transformative impact within the education sector. His multifaceted career spans across pivotal roles in education and technology, including serving as an ICT teacher, a university lecturer, founder of an EdTech platform, and a pioneer in implementing bespoke software solutions for schools and colleges. As the IT lead at Teach for Nigeria, he spearheads IT strategy and support to bolster productivity, collaboration, and data management. Join me today as I welcome Oscar Onuoha. Hello, Oscar. It's great to have you here.
Hello, it's my pleasure to be here.
Great.
Thank you.
And our second guest is a senior education officer with the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, an experienced educationist driven by a profound belief in the transformative power of learning. Our guest, over the past years, has dedicated herself to the field of education, honing her skills and insights to create meaningful and impactful learning experiences. Her journey in education began with a simple yet profound realization that education is the key to unlocking human potential, which has guided her through various roles in teaching, curriculum development, and educational leadership. Join me as I welcome today Ibilola Umoren. Hello, Ibilola. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Great. So let's jump into this, conversation. We are examining the role of technology in strengthening Nigeria's education value chain. And before we go into, the heavy work, I feel it's best to lay some foundation. When you talk about the Nigeria's educational system value chain, what do we mean? Who are the players? And permit me to use linkages in this education value chain in Nigeria? Who are the key components that make up this value chain? I'll start with you, Bisilola. Would like to hear from you.
Thank you. As we all know, education is a transformative process that equips individuals with knowledge, skills, and values necessary for personal development and societal progress. Understanding this, education fosters critical thinking, problem solving, and innovation skills. And this serves as a foundation for sustainable development. Now, looking at the key players in the value chain of education in Nigeria, the key players include the federal government, the tertiary institutions, as well as private sectors. The federal government, you have the schools, university systems that they've created. That's the tertiary institution. The federal government, you have the National University Commission, the NUC, you have the NAPTEB. So all these bodies, they serve as the key players in the value chain of education. Thank you.
And Oscar, what's your take on the essential linkages that form Nigeria's education value chain?
Thank you. In the Nigerian educational value chain, the players that we have there are the government agencies, right? Then we also have the private institutions, we have schools and colleges, and last and not the least, the learners that are at the receiving end. They are also part of the key players because everything that is happening is for their own good. Yeah.
So I like this take, on including or remembering to include the learners as an essential bit of this value chain. Because most times when we think about, the linkages in our system, we feel that the learners have no inputs, no say. They are just the ones we are doing all of this for. So there isn't a lot of conversation that even includes them into designing or modeling strategies that at the end of the day, affect them. So thank you for this intentionality in ensuring that, or now highlighting that the learners are an essential bit of the value chain. So now, if we've established that we have the government, we have the private institutions, we have the, secondary schools, we have the primary schools, we have the teachers, we have the learners. How do these major players interconnect? Where do the gaps lie? Are we doing enough to ensure that the federal government, the state government, I think instead of saying the federal, like this, the government relate well, and there is that trickling down to, the tertiary institutions, to the private institutions, to the schools, and to the learners. What's that, experience like? Do they relate well? And what are some gaps that you feel exists in this chain? I'll start with you, Oscar.
Okay, thank you. That's a very interesting question. So here I would say that the collaboration, some progress has been made positively, but a lot more still need to be done. Because from my own perspective, we have the learners, then we also have the teachers, then they're now the decision makers that make decisions, right? The education, where is it moving, and all that. Then there are also who I call the creators, right? That create textbooks, create content creators and all that these learners can use in the classroom. So the collaboration, more effort need to be done in the sense that before policy is being made, these stakeholders, the key players, have to sit on a table to know the current policies that we have in the government. Is it actually the outcome that we're expecting? Is it working out or not? And what can be done? Including the learners, personalizing what is going on in the classroom, and much more.
Great. And over to you, Bisilola. Are we doing well when it comes to, interdependencies or relationships within this value chain? I say this because with you being, in the education system, right, as a senior education officer, you'd constantly hear across the board, oh, we don't know what's happening, it's the government that said, the teachers don't know what's happening, parents are left out, innovators cannot even go to boards to ask for access to pilot or to test their solutions. So are we doing well with interconnectivity within this education value chain? Are we disenfranchising any group? Are we pushing some groups aside and just focusing on some people, or are we doing well generally? I'd love to hear from you.
Okay, thank you so much for the brief introduction that you gave, considering the fact that, yes, I am a senior educator in Lagos State, Nigeria. Okay, looking at the connection in the value chain, we need to understand quality assurance. We need to be sure that there is accreditation. And accreditation is checked when systems are in place. Just like you said, sometimes teachers will be like, we don't know what they're giving to us. They've just given us this to do and all of that. But I would like to tell you that the case is different in Lagos State, in the sense that with the Lagos State government, recently, before now, we were making use of a tablet, which was known as the Eco Excel tablet. And this tablet contained lesson plans that we were using to teach. Over time, reviews were gotten from us, though at the initial stage, teachers were not involved in the preparation of that tablet. But as the users, we had to give feedback, and thankfully, the feedback was implemented. And today, we have another system now, making use of intelligence from teachers gathered. And with this, they've been able to improve the value. They've been able to improve the quality, because we have quality assurance officers that comes to check what we're doing. Are the children really meeting up with the goals and expectation that is expected of them? And thankfully, the implementation has been on, and now we have lesson plans that we get, that we make use of. That, yes, teachers are glad now making use of that lesson plan. Everybody's saying like, yes, this is good enough. We can work with this. This will help the learners learn and achieve the necessary skills that is expected of them. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bisilola, for that amazing feedback. I like how you even gave a very practical example on on what an interdependency within these linkages are, ensuring that there is a system of feedback that has now brought about an improvement in an already established system. So now, taking it a notch higher, when we have identified different players, we've identified the government, identified innovators, both those building or designing solutions in physical form, the textbook makers, the digital solution makers, the learners, parents, everything. What is the role of technology among these linkages now to advance education? How are the key players within this education value chain utilizing technology to advance education and enhance learning in Nigeria? Are they doing enough, or are they doing nothing at all? Oscar?
So the key players that we've earlier identified, they are utilizing technology in various means. We have a lot of examples out there, successful case studies, distance learning platforms, devices that are being used in classrooms, learning management systems, school management software, CBT software, and all that. Now, beyond this, the key players in the education space, they're also utilizing technology to improve education outcomes, and not just to improve, to measure it. We have instances of gamified learnings. Like previously, in the classroom, traditional classroom, what we have in most places, so to say, at the end of the term, the children get their report card, the parents get to see how they're performing and all that. The feedback is not instant, right? But here we have feedback that is given on the go. You get to know how this particular learner is performing, how to adapt their learning style, how to adapt it to to this particular learner. And also the educators currently, they are actually utilizing it very, very well. They use it to automate a lot of their administrative tasks, assignment marking, even co-creation of resources. Now, as an educator, as an instance, I can sit here in Lagos and work on a content, an education content with someone in Kwara State on the same, but this wasn't attainable some years back.
Yeah.
You have to either you will build the book back and a lot of stress. So now we have collaborations happening. Teachers have access, real-time access to the resources that they need. Just go on the internet, a lot of tools out there that you can lay your hands on, from lesson plan to a lot of things out there, designing content. And also, I would say that we have made a lot of progress, and the key players, they have, adopted this. But then finally, what I would underscore is there is the need for, intentional digital literacy among the learners as well as the educators. The digital literacy is very, very important because the EdTech providers, there are a lot of solutions they are pumping out on regular basis. But now, the users of these solutions, they don't have that capacity, that skill to make use of it. So when they're training, the skill is there, they can readily adopt it. Then finally is to improve on the infrastructure, internet connectivity and access. But we'll talk on this as we proceed.
Thank you so much. And Ibilola, what do you say about this? How are the key players utilizing technology to advance education and enhance learning in Nigeria?
Okay, Oscar has said quite a number of things, and I believe he has captured most of the aspects of educators and key players utilizing technology. For instance, I'm in Mina presently, and you're in Lagos, and we're able to have this session all thanks to technology. Also, I would like to add that in Lagos State, Nigeria, we have the interactive radio instruction, IRI, which is always being heard. And this is a way to ensure that learners who are not able to go to school can benefit from these sessions. So this is to bring about access and equity to people who may not be able to access the regular classroom. So in all, just like you said, collaborations, researchers, they make use of technologies now just to make sure that, yes, because there is an issue of funding. We don't have enough infrastructure. The learner is able to have access to infrastructures that may not be present physically as a result of funding through technology. So we have items like the games, virtual simulations, games, all of these are present in order for the learner to be able to gain access to these infrastructures that are not present as a result of funding. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibilola, for that amazing take. I like it. You're a teacher true and true, because you constantly are just giving us examples of some of these interdependencies. And thank you so much, Oscar, too, for going beyond, showing us what the players are doing, but also where some gaps lie. I think the biggest thing you have established is between or within that chain, there needs to be constant education and an openness to using technology, because we have people who have a wealth of knowledge, but have this knowledge stored in one physical place. And when you need them to use this knowledge to support decision making, or even something as basic as teaching, it becomes a problem. So there is a need to help the linkages within this chain understand how important education, how important technology is to education, and supporting them to have resources and tools that improve their skills at the end of the day. Thank you so much, Oscar and Ibilola, for doing justice to this first episode, helping us understand who truly constitutes Nigeria's education value chain. I'm sure that our listeners now know that there is an interrelationship between the government, who are mostly decision makers, the private individuals, who we will call the industry, the innovators, people who are building solutions or who are writing the textbooks that we use, the teachers, the parents, and finally, the learners. Thank you so much, Oscar, for doing justice to this.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ibilola, for doing justice to this.
Thank you.
And to you, our listeners, what do you have to say? Did we miss out on any important linkage of Nigeria's education value chain? We'd love to hear from you. Send us your SMS and WhatsApp messages to 0703 165 0809 or 0706 402 0742. Remember, you can continue this conversation after now. We have a very active WhatsApp and Telegram community. Simply search for EdTech Mondays Nigeria on WhatsApp and on Telegram to continue the conversation. And if you know anyone who missed out on this episode or on our previous episodes, do not worry, we have you covered. Simply run to Spotify and search for EdTech Mondays Nigeria, or search for CC Hub Africa on YouTube to watch, listen, and drop your feedback. Until I come your way next time, I remain your host, Chinyelu Akpa. Keep using technology to push the frontiers on education. It's bye for now.
It's time for EdTech Mondays, brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and CC Hub.